Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 2.2, and if you're confused, it's around Halloween, and also this thing obscures my mouth so I can't speak, but hell if I'm not gonna wear a mask, especially when it's Halloween. But ladies and gentlemen, I just ended the day because it's super late, but I wanted to get this video out to you tomorrow. So I wanted to film it and edit it by today. So forgive me if I look a little gross. Worked out, had a shower, ready to decompress, and then they're like, hey, guess what? Bang, we're having it happen. But a lot of this stuff is old news to some small extent. But my friends, we are in the midst of 2.3, and the main thing that we have access to, of course, is the Hangouts, but also mainly the test run. So, by the way, this is the banner that you guys are having at your disposal. Not me at all. I'm going up, dude. Don't do this to me, thank you. And honestly, the banner is pretty good. Especially if you need a main DPS. Nin Wong is fantastic. Chun Yung is decent support, but mostly burst DPS kind of support. Yanfei, amazing. I hate that they keep putting Nin Wong and Yanfei on banners that I have no interest in. So we will not see Nin Wong or Yanfei again in another 4 or 5 banners, which sucks ass. So that's the unfortunate bit of business. But hey, if you wanted a child, you're gonna get some other DPSs. Honestly, I mean, it kind of makes sense because Tartaglia is a burst DPS, but more burst than other bursts, if that makes any sense. Like Hu Tao's coming out, but he even surpasses her because if you use a lot of his daggers, you're even on a longer cooldown. You guys will see that in a minute. So in that downtime, you don't need supports necessarily, but instead other DPSs to actually deal damage. Some people would argue that juice is worth the squeeze, and others not so much. As the weapon banner, it's a trap, don't use it, it's awful, no one should do this. But his weapon is perfectly made for him. As of all the other weapons, not that good, honestly. The rust is amazing, especially if you have certain characters. Every other, like there's a lot of Favonius weapons, and there's a special new type of weapon on there that scales off energy recharge, which is dope. But yeah, all in all, don't go on the weapon banner. If there was like a sacrificial sword and some Favonius weapons and maybe some new weapons, then maybe. But that would come with, ideally, Hu Tao's banner. And ladies and gentlemen, not only is Hu Tao an amazing character, but she is also one of like the most stacked characters that exists in the game. Of course, I'm referring to her weapon and all that. Her Staff of Homa is good on just about anybody. So again, what everyone's saying this right now, but highly advise saving your Primo Gems. Our first Fatui Harbinger that we actually got introduced to. Some people really like his design. I might just be a hater. I really don't like it. I think it looks like a great, like if it was like a black suit with some red highlights, dude. Mwah. But it's the fact that it's gray that kind of ruins it for me a little bit. But I do like the scarf aspect of it. And also when we use our blades, boom, our scarf gets a little animated and we just start fucking doing massive slashes. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what your boy child does, he attacks very, very quickly, and then he also can shoot arrows, but he's mainly there for his burst daggers that can really chew up everything. His bow is kind of just there. Yeah, it doesn't do the most, but it's still something. And if you ever do need to make a quick shot, you can do that. But again, this is not how you play child. Ideally, you would pop his thing and then start tearing him up. And however long you activate his like spear dagger, whatever, it will increase the cooldown. And if you have it out for its entire duration, it's going to massively increase the cooldown. So it's going to be on cooldown for a long time. Hence why they gave you some Kaya to play on the off time. Except Kaya always is not built to do a secondary DPS showcase. He's always built to just kind of be additive damage. Okay, well, I may go back. I don't know, it's a lot. Anyway, we'll see how it plays. For right now, let's just cover the characters. So, this is Tartaglia, like we mentioned. Again, just his abilities. Main thing you're going to want to level up is his basic attack because it does scale up pretty hard. But yes, Child is a bow user, but more or less he is a dagger / spear user in a weird way. And yeah, that's the predominant way you're going to be dealing your damage. He's going to apply Riptide onto this, which is like a damage over time effect. And honestly, it's hilarious because it's not the greatest damage over time effect, and Hu Tao's damage over time effect is nuts. Anyways, and there's alt. Is like he has different phases. Basically, the one with your daggers helps massively, and the one with your arrow is giving you a utility-like effect. Now, Tartaglia does do some cool things. Extends Riptide's duration. That's nice. But then this is also pretty good. This is the one I really like, and I wish it was on not like a pseudo secondary DPS, but on a support. If they ever give you a person that has this on a support passive way, that would be huge. But basically, Tartaglia gives you an additive talent reputation, so you can bring this talents scale-wise up to 11. Now, for some characters, that's not that great. But for other characters that massively jump and massively scale, that can be really, really helpful. So that's really good. He can kind of be like a weird pseudo kind of sort of support, but you also need to play the shit out of him to actually get stuff out of him. But yes. Anywho, as of Constellation, Tartaglia is brutally known for being one of the most gluttonous type of Constellation people, where each Constellation gives him massive utility. Of course, his last one basically taking away his entire downtime or cooldown, which is lovely. But, of course, you can also play a Tartaglia without any Constellations. But to me, I think this is like, yeah, like Constellation 1 of Hu Tao is insane. Constellation 1 of Child is good. But it's not like it 10x's his damage like Hu Tao. So yeah. Also, Hu Tao is just amazing on a base in terms of like her dot is better, her damage over time is better, and stuff like that. That's not to say that Child's bad. That's just to say that Hu Tao is notorious for being one of the most psychotically good characters in the game in terms of just DPS outright. But, of course, they did stack the deck. I should mention this. His weapon is very, very good. It basically benefits, so you get more and more damage every single time you do anything for him. And Tartaglia is one of the rare characters that do want everything. He wants you to use his ult, he wants you to use his E, he wants you to basic attack, he wants you to do all of it, and each time you do that you'll gain a stack and get more and more bonus attack. So yeah, using your elemental skill, elemental burst, and of course attacking things all scales up everything. Does charge attack count? Maybe charge attack counts as well. Okay. So we'll try to do that. So let's just show you guys how he feels, even though I'm pretty sure everybody knows at this point. Honestly, this is a video that probably shouldn't exist, but here we are. So of course, we just got a bunch of stacks. We're gonna do more of that, and now we have max stacks on our damage, and now we're dealing, yeah, see, we're doing like, okay, here's the thing. We're doing like 4K, which is pretty good. But it's not, what do you call it? It's happening so fast. So Tartaglia is suffering from a high attack speed. So he looks like maybe he's not doing the craziest, but that's only because he has an abundance of attack speed. But nevertheless, there's still instances like this where you really, unlike other characters, unlike Hu Tao, who only ever has like 4 or 5 seconds or 6 seconds of downtime, Tartaglia, we're still waiting to pop off. So that's the thing, man. And I don't know. I kind of talked to you guys about stream on this, where a lot of people, a lot of you guys really like Tartaglia, is basically where I'm at. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I thought this back in the day, and I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know. This because to me, I think there's such a weird conversation about like who is strong and who is like a fun character or a viable character. It's like every person's viable. That's not the conversation of power rating. It's of how much investment does it take to make someone get to that level. And is there not other characters that can do it better for less and do it more? But alas, that's not to say Tartaglia is bad. Maybe they fucking nixed his entire power. Let's see. I don't think they would do that, because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of this banner being one of the lowest. Yeah, no. Good crit rate. Could have more crit damage. I don't know why that's so low. That's weird. I don't know why they didn't give him more crit damage. I guess that would be too skewed. It's not like he's not killing things though. That's not the problem that I ever felt with Tartaglia. Yeah, it looks awesome. Like you're just shredding things with these water blades. Absolutely sick. But what's the problem is that when you're sitting there, you have downtime, and it's brutal downtime. So yeah, and like he's what people thought a secondary DPS was gonna be, but then Hu Tao came out and she has 6 seconds, if that, of downtime. And yeah, and then she's ready to go, and she goes beyond what he goes to, you know? Even with the bow, and maybe I didn't get all the stacks, but it felt like I did. Let's see, I can get them all now. So we're gonna do a charge attack, we're going to do a quick attack, we're gonna activate our blades, we're gonna start fucking shit up, we're doing these. We're gonna do a charge attack just to make sure I got that, just in case I didn't. And yeah, we're doing like 4K. Again, it's not bad. What kind of artifact set do they give him? Let me see. Because maybe that's what it is. Because people are saying that they're like, no, this is not a bad artifact set for him. I suppose, yeah, it's not the greatest now I think about it. Yeah, this is weird. Why, Mahoyo? Why have you been doing this? I can suffer for a little longer. We're back. But yeah. Why do they do this? His artifact set, Heart of Depth, was always an artifact set that existed, but unless I'm mistaken, I think the new artifact set is significantly better for him. The new, this artifact set right here. There's an artifact set that we recently got that is Hu Tao's best in slot, or one of her better in slots, not best per se. But yeah, it's this right here. Basically, you're getting 50% damage and 15 minus your energy or your E activation, which you're already gonna never activate your E like for a long ass time until it's done. So yeah, and you're getting 50% bonus damage to normal, charge, and the whole 9 yards. Whereas this one only gives you attack speed, and attack speed is already something that Tartaglia has an abundance of anyway. Yeah, so it gives you Hydra damage. Okay, after using the elemental skill, it increases your normal and charge attacks damage by 15. Okay, sorry, it doesn't increase your attack speed. Sorry, I'm misunderstanding the set. But even still, you're changing 30 from, yeah, 50. 50 is a huge, bigger jump. Now, yes, you're shaving off a little bit of your alt charge, but our Tartaglia, as you guys can see, does not struggle from that idea, like getting his alt, because he generates a lot of particles when he uses his E. But boy, oh boy, man, we're still waiting. We're still waiting to pop off. I don't know what. I feel like Mihoyo wants him to fail. Like, I'm just lost in like what the execution and the problem of this was. Because yeah, now you do generate more particles in this zone, but we basically already have our ult again. But that's one of the things with Tartaglia is that you kind of always have his ult, because that's how his constellations work. If you didn't have, if you weren't able to get your ult, then you wouldn't be able to pop off your alt, and if you have mass constellation, get a reset on your E. I don't know, man. This is kind of one of those moments where I am lost. Yeah, like it seemed like they should have, unlike any other character, stacked their mother effing deck as much as humanly possible, but they didn't. They were just kind of like, okay, well, let's give him the bare minimum of anything. Let's not give him the new artifacts that would scale up his damage even more. Anything like that. We've talked about Ninhuang for such a long time. In fact, I don't know why they showed her again. Usually they don't double repeat. Regardless, let's see if they destroyed her again. And they tend to do that. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not as bad as last time. What kind of artifact set they give you? Archaic Petra, okay, a little bit better than last time. But again, Ninhuang is good without any constellations, but with constellations, she's one of the more broken characters in the entire game. But with Talents 8s, we should be able to do a slight bit of something. But yeah, it's 1000. It's not the great. It's definitely, you want a lot of crit rate. You need to build a good bit. All that. We'll do this.
Your life is mine.
Her voice actor is not my fave, but yes. Anyways, yes. Honestly, she's still doing, like, in a weird way, a better job than Tartaglia, but also we have more like people to use. So fair enough. A little bit of a scuffed and rude thing to say, maybe. We'll do one of these to hold charge, bop and bop. Why did they give us more enemies to fight than Tartaglia? We'll do this. We'll do this. Giving him particles. We got her all back again because the domain is stacked in that way. But yes, Ninhuang doesn't need as much explanation. I guess I should explain some things. But basically, Ninhuang is a caster. She's one of the better people in the game because every single time you connect with one of your E's, it builds those little things floating around to me up to 3. And then you can do a whole charge, a charge attack, and it will launch a bunch of extra damage out. And if you activate this and you activate her ult, it will throw out even more rocks. Like those things will find and track people, but it does consume your curtain. But your curtain also gives you a shit ton of energy, and if you have constellations, I believe you can cast 2. So you can just use it as like a battery to get back your ult, so you don't really need to build her for energy recharge. You can just full send damage, which is why she is so good. Anyways, Ninhuang has always been one of those characters I've wanted to build, but alas, they keep putting her on banners that nobody really wants to wish on, or at least not me. I shouldn't be too presumptuous there. But anyways, also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're by any chance appreciating me going through the paces and also the madness, a little bit of madness is always a nice touch. Anyways, I'd appreciate any and all support on the video. As always, my friends, thank you again for everyone who goes the extra mile. Last, Chunyung. Chunyung is awesome, but he is one of the characters where I have never ever see him anymore because he does a burst damage kind of thing, which is not as good as like Shangling always outputting a shit ton of damage. So it's not that burst damage isn't good, it's just that the sustained damage was never reallocated to make that make sense. You know what I mean? So like Xiangling just constantly delivering damage with Boba will easily surpass the cooldown efficiency rate of Xiangling's damage. But yeah, basically he's a character that infuses hits. So when you're in his aura, he's going to start doing cryo damage. That can be a blessing or a very, very big curse. But alas, he's also a Claymore user and he attacks pretty fast. Also, I believe you get an attack speed buff when you're in this zone. And this is his burst damage capability. Give me a hot minute here. Fudoosh! It's pretty awesome. So if you have him built on as like a burst DPS, he's actually pretty legit. And quite good. So you just switch to him, cast his ult, he'll smash down these swords, and yeah, if you have Constellations, he only gets a little bit better at that, but his Constellations try to make him like a DPS, and I think that's kind of the problem to some extent. Also, he's a spin to win kind of Claymore user, but yeah, he's not bad, especially for his lore being as cool as it is. It does seem like it's a damn shame. I wish he would have had like this protective ward that would have basically kept him like a summon, basically. But instead, we get a giant zone of purification, which also, I guess, makes sense. But, anywho, yeah, Chunyung, a good support if you have him, worth building, but he does, yeah, again, there's a reason why you don't see him as much. It's not that he's bad, it's just that there's other characters that do it better and with less. That's kind of what balance and better or good is in this game, at least to me. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, now we have Yanfei. Now, this is one of my favorite characters in the game. I've said this many times, but I would easily trade one of my 5-star characters for a Yanfei with hopefully a really, really high constellations, or I would do that with Ningguang as well, but Yanfei I think I would like more. But Yanfei is a same character similar to Ningguang, except she does some cooler things in my opinion, and she feels better to play. Ningguang still feels like you're kind of on rails, and you're kind of just like, you're almost playing WoW. Like you're hitting a button and watching events take place, and you're not able to like attack, boom, 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 boom. You don't get that kind of zippy, kind of clicky gameplay with Ningguang. At least it doesn't feel that way, which makes sense. She's kind of a mortar. She's not necessarily supposed to zip around. But Yanfei is. So how Yanfei works is as followed. Basically, you're building charges. So you build 3 charges by just going through her 3 attack combo. And then you summon this stamp that go ahead and does a ton of AoE. Also, her base attack does do AoE as well. So she is like an AoE queen, and that stamp can really, really hurt. But alas, it is a charge attack, so you will be taking away some of your energy, which is what Constellations with her helps greatly. Anyways, but also what build stacks is this. So you cast your E, you do another kind of AoE stamp, and then you can do a heavy stamp again. Also, you don't need to get 3 stamps to get full stamps. And then when you use her ult, she just gets better at getting stacks. So she gets stacks over time, as well as gets a burst of stacks. So as you guys can see, like, this is what I mean. They have her, like, Yanfei here is not built well, and yet she feels 10x better than, in my opinion, Child. And also, she always performs. It's not like you're gonna have to go on cooldown for, I think it's 30 seconds. No, you will not need to do that. Now, with that being said, they did butcher his build. You could build him to do a lot of damage, but she can be ranged, my dude. She can be a mile away, popping damage, doing stamps, charging shit in front of you. Also, so much of her damage is in her charge attack, and there's so much in her kit that just gives you a charge attack. Using your ult gives you a charge attack. Using your E gives you max charge attacks. Same thing as your ult. And your ult just helps you passively get charge attacks, so if you're ever waiting in a boss phase, it's still useful to do that. I could see her fitting into a Ball team where you just build her full damage, and Ball kind of makes up for the lack of DPS in that regard. Also, you're casting and hitting things with Yanfei. Ball's counter-strike will constantly be detonating, doing overload, doing even more splash damage. I wish so badly I had this character, and I fucking am pissed for like the 4th time that she's on a banner that I am not interested at all. I get it, it makes sense. To just have like a character on the off time you'd be able to play and maybe hit some vaporize hits, which could be good for Child. But then put her in the fucking trial arena so people can see that. But instead it's a lot of like hearsay. Anyways, yeah, her kit is not that great. You can get so much more crit damage and crit rate on her. Same thing as energy recharge. Yeah, you could honestly put her, I think, on the the most like viable, like again, I think there's two characters in the game. Honestly, I would put Yanfei above any other character. Main DPS for free to play. If you happen to get one of these characters, or if they ever let her be in the shop to buy this character. I do not think you get more bang for your buck, because one of the best sets for her, I think, in my opinion, would be the set that everyone is already getting for supports, but also is viable for this. So you'll be getting this base thing for supports. This one right here, that's amazing. Energy recharge scales up all damage. There's so many characters like Xiangling and Kai that are free to play that you'll be able to fully ascend and jack up to just kill everything. And then you can give her the other artifact set, which is this one, which gives her bonus attack. Sure, not the best. Increases normal and charge attack by 50%, and she's going to be normal attacking and charge attacking all the fucking time, and she generates so many fucking particles that she's going to constantly be able to have her ult anyway. And also her ult is good, but not needed if you're using her as intended. And yeah, to me, I think if I could give anybody a character to wish on that's a 4-star that you can get the most out of, that is so easy to get, it would be her. As much as I love Razor to bits, and you guys know that, this domain it's like pretty useless if you don't have, yeah, like it's good for Zhongli and Fischl, this Heart of the Millilith, it's good, but it's kind of like an end game specific kind of niche build that can give you a little bit more damage and shield strength. But ultimately, there's not that many characters that can really always use this thing to the fullest, besides Zhongli and etc. But what do you call it? But again, this would be the one for Razor. But that one down there is like the best free-to-play team ever. If you can get one Yanfei, like if you have no Primo Gems to begin with, I think wishing on the banner would be not a bad idea, just because of how good Yanfei is. And again, like, she feels better than Tartaglia, and they don't even have her built well. And that can be said for the same thing as Tartaglia. Anyways, damn shame. Kind of really pissed that I still don't have Yanfei, and I probably won't for another, like, 6 months. So, a little peeved, a little annoyed. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the information and data that your boy got. Child, I've never really enjoyed his kit for various reasons. People this whole week will be trying to show you guys the best parts about him. There are good parts, but again, whenever I see a character is not that good or whatever, it's not meant to be a slight at the character. It's meant to say that could you not get more out of characters or other characters with less investment, and you could potentially see them go even farther. I don't know what they were thinking, making his banner and giving him like shitty artifacts and such, and like didn't stack up the shit out of his thing, because in past banners we've seen them do that. So it's a little weird. Anywho, Chunyung, I haven't seen him in a while. There's a reason for that. He's not bad. It's just he's not like super good. Like Xiangling kind of popped off and kind of left him behind a little bit. Yanfei, I think, is one of the best characters in the game. I think she gets a lot of shit, but yeah, I think she's the best 4-star DPS bang for your buck, ideal character if you're free to play to get. So that's what I think. But who knows? Maybe I'm insane. Look at me. Probably. Anyways, also that's the thing, man. We played Nin Wong at C0. She's okay, but like constellations really help her. Yanfei, constellations are nice, but they're not made for her. So if you have Constellation 1 of Yanfei, she does really, really well. If you have Max Constellation, it takes away the super negative to her whole kit, which is the fact that she chews through stamina. But again, that can be remedied by a shield character, or ideally Diona, you know? Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, my face is burning because I didn't put like an under sealant on this, so it's just like clay and shit. And like, yeah, whatever this paper clay was made of, which is like drywall mix, which is not good on the skin. We are ushered into 2.2, very interesting. I'm very excited for Itto, is where I'm at. Also, I'm excited for Thomas, and also Hu Tao is going to be a huge pull if you've been really wanting to get like another solid as fuck DPS. That would be where I would suggest you put your points, even if they shit on the banner. Thomas and Hu Tao both seem like immortally good characters. I will say, Hu Tao is very, very good, but Hu Tao is wildly good if you're able to get Constellation 2. And they've kind of, if you've been saving for 2 banners, and you might be able to like see how your luck falls, but also be aware that Garu and Itto is apparently coming, you know? And people are speculating, no confirmation on this at all, but it would make sense that Albedo would get its rerun with another kind of ranged DPS that can detonate his Geo thing and also do resonance. But we'll see. That's all speculation. It just would make sense to me, but who knows? Maybe they might throw Garo and Itto there. I think it might go Albedo and Garu, Itto, then Ganyu, and then whomever. And then maybe Yanfei, or then Yai. That would be what I would bet. Because... Or maybe Yai and then Ganyu. Regardless. Who knows? But that'd be my weird speculation. But I've been very wrong. Many times, so... Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, as far as the banner, I would say skip it. I would say 100 times over skip it. Do not. Hu Tao is 1,000 times better. It's a shame that they're on there. If you're just getting into the game and you don't have that many Primo Gems to throw around, I would still say wait for Hu Tao. But again, I would say, Yanfei is just so good. But Yanfei's also in the standard banner, I believe. So yeah, you could get Yanfei from the standard banner and pop off in that way as well. So just take that into consideration. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again for your time. And of course, goodbye.